guys. It's 8:32. I did not wake up with my first alarm, but I did wake up with 1:15. It is raining on my skylights. I'm meeting my dad in just about 20 minutes, so I need to get cracking on breakfast and a cup of tea. Because we are going to do some driving practice, which may sound a bit odd because you guys are like, hey, you are a fully qualified driver. Yes I am. But this is something I didn't realize was quite so strange until I was talking to Tor when I was in Canada. So the rules for learning to drive in England are you apply for a provisional license. You can apply for a provisional license with no experience, no tests, nothing like that at all. Completely, out of the blue, nothing. You don't need, as long as you're over the age of 16, you can apply for a provisional driving license. Once you have a provisional license, you can drive. As long as you have L plates on your car, you are insured, you have someone with you who is an adult over the age of 21 who has at least 3 years of driving experience to guide you through it. A couple of things you're not allowed to do is do motorways. Motorways are any roads with 3 or more lanes. So that's kind of the gist of it. In order to take your actual test, you need to do a theory test, which you can take at any time. It has a 3-year limit on it. So if you take 3 years to learn to drive, and it's between taking your theory tests and taking a practical test, you have to retake your theory test. But 3 years, most people don't take 3 years. Once you've taken your theory test, at any point you can then take your driving test. I think there's some rule about you have to have a minimum of 10 hours in the car with an actual instructor. But that could be complete baloney, because I know you can also do intensive driving courses where you just spend a whole day in a car with an instructor, and then at the end of it you pass, or you can take your test. Either way, but then you don't have to do anything else. So I choose to wear P plates, which is provisional plates, because I'm quite a nervous driver. It took me a very long time to learn. But you don't have to, and most people won't. But I find that it gives me a little bit more freedom to make mistakes. It means that other drivers give me a little bit more respect on the road, or a little bit more space on the road at the very least, if not respect. Which is all good for me. But one of the things you're not allowed to do as a learner driver is go on motorways. And there is therefore no official training for doing motorways. Most people will just give it a go once they pass their test. But some people won't. Some people, I've got a friend who is in her late 50s who's never been on a motorway in your life. You can avoid them. They are the most efficient way of getting around, but you can avoid them. So that's one way of doing it. Or you do what I'm going to do, which is going around with someone that I trust and treat myself like a learner again, and doing a motorway as slowly and as sensibly as I can. The only way to be trained to do a motorway as such is to do a Pass Plus test, or an advanced training course, which means things like extra perception tests. You do things like motorways, things like trying to get from point A to point B as fast as possible without being dangerous or breaking the speed limit. Things like, I think there's additional parking stuff, but almost no one, I can't think of a single person I know who's ever done an advanced driving course, other than people in the emergency services who are doing emergency service driving, which I think is an additional course anyway. So it's a very strange system. It works as far as I know. A lot of people say English drivers are pretty safe, comparatively, who knows. But it is a kind of a weird gap in the knowledge that you're not allowed to go on motorways as a learner, and then you don't have to do any training, you just do it. So I'm meeting up with my dad, and we are going to go shopping in a different city. In fact, the city I went to university in, we're going to pop down to Reading. and that involves going on a motorway. So at least, like, it's one of the things I've been putting off because I want to drive with someone that I trust for practice. But I also, like, I don't want to just use fuel for the sake of using fuel. So my dad was like, "Hey, do you want to go to IKEA?" And I was like, "Well, sure." So we're going to, I might go to IKEA, I might go to a couple of other shops, but it's, if I'm doing a job for him and also learning to do motorways, then that's fine. If I'm just getting on the road for the sake of going on a motorway, that's not something I want to do. Yeah, so I'm gonna really quickly have some breakfast. I don't have time to porridge. I've got to head out the house like in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna have some oatcakes and some chocolate chip cookies because that's a really healthy breakfast. And then I'm gonna jump in my car. Well, put on some clothes first and then jump in my car. Anywho, see you guys soon-ish. I hope, if I don't crash my car on midway. I finally did it. I finally managed to make it to the fish and chip shop. Whoa! Yeah, so I was going to go to the place that's just opened, but it wasn't open right now. So I went to the really, really close place that, you know, it's still fish and chips, no matter where it's from, it's going to be fish and chips. And I was just leaving the place, I was like, "Oh no, don't worry about a plastic bag, I'll just carry it." And he's like, "Oh, but it's going to rain soon." And no sooner had I stepped out than it started to rain. And be really windy and gusty. Look at all the trees blowing in the breeze. Oh, and like proper heavy raindrops. So I managed to just get it home. It managed to keep me warm on the journey. I held the chips like it was a child. And now I shall enjoy it. Because yum yum yum. With a bottle of cider because I can. It is 2:30 in the afternoon on my day off. I'm not working tomorrow until 1 o'clock. So I'm dang well gonna have a cider with my flippin' chip. Yeah! Hey, another walk and talk vlog. So I ate my chips and then I fell into a bit of a sleepy coma. And then I got up and I got changed because I was basically just napping, and lots of duvets equals maybe not the best clothes to wear out again. And I'm about to head out to D&D. In fact, I'm going to probably be maybe a little bit late for D&D when I was intending to be slightly early. But I'm wearing my in-character jewellery. I've got my dragon, I've got my moonstone necklace. And I'm going to pop the camera down half so I put my coat on. There we go. Yes, so heading out to D&D. It'll be nice to... Last session I was there, but the jet lag hit just as I arrived and I was completely out of it, which was appropriate because this is going to be an interesting session. My character's had a really rough time of it lately. There's a lot of drama in her backstory. I've done over 9,000 words on her backstory. I know I'm out of frame, but there we go. I've got to get organised. And she kept seeing things from her past prop up, and her whole thing is that her past is secret and she doesn't want to reveal it to anyone. And then a couple of bad things happened during one session, and then she was victim of, like, there was a serial killer in Waterdeep. I don't know whether or not that's part of the canon proper or not. Possibly my spoilers for Waterdeep. I will put that in the title. But yes, so there's a serial killer going around targeting elves and half-elves, and she was the only half-elf in the party. And so when we did the battle for that, she allowed herself to be the primary target, and so got shot a lot with a drow gun, resulting in quite a lot of damage and several times being unconscious during that battle. And then I've got my shoes. I'm gonna wear my little heels today, my little booties, because they make my feet look pretty. Yes, so then we had another battle where it didn't really go very well. And then while I was on holiday, there was a explosion in our tavern, and in order to just have a character accent, she got caught in that explosion. So emotionally and physically, she's been through the ringer, actually. So I think that might come into play this session. She might have a bit of a breakdown and not be highly functional. But we shall see how it goes. Also of note is that we're a party of 6, so it's hard, and we only have 3 hours a week, so it's going to be pretty hard to do all of this character-driven stuff in one session without feeling like I'm hogging the table. But I'm still going to do it because I think it's important for the character. So I think she's probably she's gonna pass out drunk. And then we'll see how the other characters react. And yeah, it's one of those things where I built a character who very much is a bit of a lone wolf. And so trying to be part of a party is a real struggle for her. Yeah, that's something that is going to happen. I am heading out to my car and then straight to D&D. Yeah, so trying to build a character who's a lone wolf in a party is always a challenge, because you constantly have the, but why am I with this bunch of losers doing adventures that might get me hurt? So that's an interesting character dynamic. But there we go. This sort of thing. Bye. Hey guys, it is 12:30. I've been home about an hour from D&D. It's a really intense session. We did some very, again, minor spoilers for Dragon Heist, the campaign, but we did some very clever techniques and bypassed a chase scene by using a very clever use of Mage Hand. And we did a lot of stuff, and it's been, in terms of game time, the last 4 sessions have been in the course of one day. So a lot has happened in that one day. We've gone from crypts to the dock ward to we've been all over basically. It's been a very busy couple of sessions with a lot going on, and it's really interesting because I think at this point my characters, like, I'm starting to truly understand how much of a emotionally damaged character I built, and that was always the intention. The intention was her to be very shut off, very withdrawn, and very much the only time when she feels like a person is when she's drunk, when she's having sex or cheating at cards. And I've built up this character which I think I've played pretty truthfully the whole way through. But in the last couple of, as I said in my previous video, she's been through a lot in the last couple of sessions. Now, one of those problems has been resolved in that one of the things that was really stressing her out was Bien, one of the other characters played by Dan, who's one of the players. He is this little street kid who's got quite a similar backstory to Tisa in many ways, and he randomly slit a woman's throat last session, and Tisa will kill when she needs to kill, and she will mercy kill if she believes that that's the better option. But she doesn't want to kill anyone really. She's not a murderer. And this 14-year-old street kid walking up behind a noble lady and slicing her throat was a bit much. But that's been resolved in that he had a royal audit. He had a license to kill apparently for that particular person. So that at least has been resolved. But yeah, she's very damaged at the moment, and it was very interesting this session trying to work out how to play this character who's basically in the middle of a depression crisis, but also keeping it fun and light and keeping the story rolling with all the other characters. Because when you've only got 3 hours and 6 player characters, it's a lot, and it's hard to give your character space to breathe but also keep up with the action sequences and all that jazz. I think we came up with a good balance, me and Simon, who plays Maury, and Maury's this turtle old lady, and he plays her so well, and we just got drunk at one point and just started chatting, and that was fun in character drunk. Yeah, so it's a very intensive session, and I'm knackered. I've been unwinding by watching episode 1 of Game of Thrones season 3, and the costumes are so beautiful, and it's a real, like, the development of Sansa even by season 3 is quite impressive. Yeah, and I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to set my alarm for 8:30 instead of 8 tomorrow, as it is a slightly later night. And tomorrow my first mission of the day is to get out of the house and buy myself some more milk, because we're running quite low in the house. If I want to have porridge for breakfast, I'm going to need more milk. So that's going to be the first mission of the morning. And then there's a couple of things that I kind of want to do, but we'll see if they actually happen. I'm not in a rush. And then I'm working tomorrow evening and Friday evening, and then I'm off the weekend. I'm going to go see Detective Pikachu on the weekend with some of my D&D friends on Saturday evening, and then there's possibly plans to go to London with my mum on the Sunday. We'll see how that works out. But again, nothing set in stone. We'll see how the day takes us. But yeah, gotta go to bed. 12:30. See you guys all tomorrow. Hopefully on time in the morning. Who knows? But yeah, it was a good D&D session. I've got to remember to take my necklace before I go to bed because I don't want to break it. So character background. Oh yeah, and we also had like there was like a prophecy thing that was given to us, which strongly implies some stuff about my the current story and my backstory coming together, but it's all secret. And it's really interesting because I'm at the point with the character of Tisa that because she's near breaking point, it's at the point where like the only way to really move forward with the character is for her to tell someone her backstory, or at least she's told people her truth and how she wants to be perceived, but I think at the point where she's in her character, the only way that she's actually going to feel some actual character catharsis is to actually tell someone the real truth, which is something that's going to be incredibly difficult for her. But at the same time, like, I don't know, like in terms of in-character timings, she's only known the party for maybe a month, and her boyfriend, she's dating Lord Rainier. What? She's dating Lord Rainier Neverember. What? Sexy times. Yeah, so I don't know whether or not she's actually at a point, if I were to break down how well she knows everyone, whether or not she actually, in character, whether or not she's, like, been through enough with them to actually want to tell one of them the whole truth. But we shall see. But at the moment it's quite busy anyway, so I don't really want to block up any in characters, in session time for that sort of thing. I think it will be really interesting when we get to the end of the campaign to send my 9,000 word backstory to the other players and see if any of them worked out what the actual truth of her backstory is. Because she's a really interesting character, but she is at this point very much in a crisis. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, I am going to go to bed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow, hopefully.